Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sanson, Jim Jonas with another episode of Veterans in Politics. We have a special treat from you. We kidnapped him from the Nevada State Republican Party Central Committee meeting. Tony Grady, he's running for Lt.Governor for the great state of Nevada. Tony lives up in Reno. We're going to go right to Tony, and we'll do our rants on the other show. Tony, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a proud American,
Okay.
and I'm a veteran. I served in the Air Force for 20 years.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much, and it was my pleasure to serve. But something interesting
What were your rank when you got out?
Oh, my rank, Lieutenant Colonel.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Full bird or?
Lieutenant Colonel, so light colonel, right before, before
Yes,
full bird.
yes.
Right.
So please continue.
Yeah, so I'm something that might be interested to the viewers, and one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing right now is that fortunately I got a chance to live overseas when I was growing up, and I lived in Africa for a while. I lived in Asia. I lived in Lagos, Nigeria.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria. Great country.
You know that, I got to tell you, I get letters and it says, "Dearly beloved, your surname Sanson is the same surname of Sir Robert Sanson, and he has no heirs. Could you send us $5,000 and we'll send you 10 million?" You know the letters I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And, you know, the internet has enabled a lot of that, right?
Yes.
So I think what's interesting about that is that I got to live there. And then I graduated from high school in Bangkok, Thailand. My dad was in foreign service. So it was pretty interesting. He was a vocational ed professor and helped build secondary schools. But the reason I wanted to bring that to your audience is that I got to see the United States from the outside.
Okay.
And that's where I became extremely patriotic, because I've seen the results of socialism and communism, namely abject poverty for their people.
Oh, wow.
So that caused me to want to go to the Air Force Academy, coupled with the fact that when I was growing up, it was the heyday of the space program. So I was really interested in engineering.
What was your MOS in the Air Force?
Well, I have to educate you. You're my Marine brethren, but it would be the AFSC. So my specialty was being a pilot, and I ended up being a test pilot.
Hold on, Tony.
Yes.
Did he just downgrade the Marines? He has to educate me.
Hey, I'm just happy that we have an Air Force vet on, because Steve's always beating those Air Force guys. My brother, he served in the Air Force.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I noticed Mr. Gibbs is here too, and I know he served in the Air Force.
But see, the reason that I can say educate you is that my oldest is a Marine.
Okay.
So I understand.
God bless him. You tell him something. So you're a test pilot?
I am.
Is that crazy? Is that the guys that they put the test dummies in the car and they crash them against the wall? Is that something that you do?
There's nothing dumb about being a test pilot. So it's all fun.
Really, a test pilot? Come on, Tony.
What do you mean?
A test pilot?
Yes.
You get in the aircraft. You don't even know if it's going to stay in the air.
Well, we know. And what's really interesting about it is that since the 50s, fatalities in flight testing are almost non-existent. And part of that is because of the preparation that goes on before you do that. And we have a joke. We can't take off until the weight of the paperwork is twice the weight of the airplane. So just remember that.
I mean, that takes a lot of guts to be a test pilot.
Well, I think that people have to respond to their calling. And you might see it that way, but the reality is it took guts for you to be a Marine.
True.
I mean, my calling was to be an Air Force pilot. And I wanted to become a test pilot because I'm an engineer.
So you must have saved a lot of lives then, huh?
Well, no, I'll tell you how I saved.
You got rid of all the glitches
and that sort of thing. Yes. And that's what we're there for, to make sure. And for a neat term that your users can use, we do envelope expansion.
Gotcha.
Which means that we define where you can operate this airplane safely. Okay. That's what we do.
So why are you running for Lieutenant Governor?
I just want to tell you a real short story. I have this iconic picture in my living room of my father standing by my grandmother when he graduated from college.
Okay.
Both my parents were poor, grew up in the Jim Crow South.
Okay.
So graduating from college was huge. So education was wired into my brain at an early age. I was very fortunate from the standpoint that my parents never let me slide, so I learned how to work hard. Well, I've raised 4 kids. They're all college graduates. One of them graduated from West Point, one graduated from Annapolis. So I know how to help young people become successful adults because I've raised my own 4. Well, I was minding my own business, retired, minding my own business, and I found out that Nevada is 49th in pre-K through 12 education. I could not sit back and abide that. I said, you've made fun of politicians your whole life. Yeah, it's about time to get off your rear end and do something about it.
But don't the job of the lieutenant governor is to bring business here to the state?
And great
how are you
question.
Gonna do with education? Should you run for regent, trustee, or board of ed? Or?
No, because you know what? Those are people that are part of the problem. So I'm a vision man. And here's what I mean. And when I say part of the problem, I don't mean that they cause things as much as they're in the system.
They're not doing anything about it.
So 2 of the 5 statutory requirements of the lieutenant governor are tourism and business development. Right. So as lieutenant governor, I am going to be encouraging businesses to come to Nevada and strengthening the ones that we have. So I will be intimately familiar with what their workforce requirements are.
Right.
Nevada being 49th in pre-K through 12 education, the future of that is not good. Yes. So since I'm going to intimately know that, I am going to use my position as lieutenant governor to influence those who formulate the education system to improve it.
How exactly are you going to do that, though?
Well, the way you do that is the exactly is that I know what their workforce requirements are. Like, for instance, say that we need...
And that's key, too.
So then when you talk about those regents, then when you talk about those principals, when you talk about people like that, I can give them reports. I can give them what's on the horizon. I can come to them and say, this business, and I've already heard of this, there are some great businesses here that tell me they can't find the degreed people that they need. Right. The other thing that I want to encourage.
Well, let me just say one little caveat.
Sure.
You cannot bring new business to this state if you have a poor education system.
Exactly. I mean, so that's how exactly I'm going to be the information guy, because I am not a technical educator per se. I can't write a curriculum, but I can talk to those who do.
Right. But you can give them a parameter because you do understand what businesses specifically are looking for. So you can communicate to those that are specialists in education on this is how you attract more business. This is the educational base that business needs.
Right, but there's one other thing I want to bring up too. Yeah. One size doesn't fit all.
True.
And I think that we ignore we don't broadcast the fact that there are great trade jobs. So some of these students may not be destined or even want to go to college, but they could become a carpenter. They could become an electrician. Maybe they're going to become an entrepreneur. The point is that there are more avenues for people to become educated to be a productive part of the society. So that's part of it too.
So what do you think, as briefly as you can put it, where do you think Nevada is failing as far as, because as a lieutenant governor, right, you're going to be a part of the executive branch.
Yes.
Where do you think we're falling short in Nevada, and how are you going to help change that? You've touched on some good points.
Falling short in what? Specifically education?
Well, not just education, just in general with the executive branch. Like,
well, right now,
our current governor and lieutenant governor aren't doing, they're just not popular.
Well, one of the things is that our governor left the lieutenant governor job open for many, many, many months. Right. And the lieutenant governor runs the Senate. And so there wasn't anybody there to push legislation the way it's supposed to be, the way it's designed. But here's where we're falling short. Government is supposed to be government for the people, of the people, by the people, not dictate to the people.
Yeah.
So another reason I'm running is because we need to change that. So I will be the right-hand man of the governor. And anybody who's running on the Republican side right now, I will be able to support. So the governor will set what the agenda is, and I will carry it out. But I'm also going to influence what he does. But right now, the governor is not governing our state well. Not at all.
So, I mean, let's just say, for instance, Sisolak does get reelected. How are you going to work with him?
And I think that's where my military background comes in, because in the military,
You're going to do a black ops mission.
don't believe these guys. No. The reality is, in the military, because you don't know what commander you're going to serve under, there's plenty of times you can serve under a commander that you don't agree with. So one of the things I can bring to the table is how
that's hard.
how you be the loyal opposition. You know how to do that. But statutorily, I raise my hand to support and uphold the Nevada Constitution. Right. So when the governor does something that's not good for the people, I will be the one to voice that. Just a simple one that really has me bent out of shape is the mask mandate. Right. So the coronavirus is 10,000 times smaller than the grid in an N95 mask. It doesn't stop it. And also we have anecdotal evidence, from other states that it doesn't stop it. So that's something that's a big irritant. But I'll tell you where I'm very angry. As Dr. Ben Carson has said, for small children who are in school, it is important for them to see the face of their teachers while they're learning the language. So damage that might be irreparable is happening to our children now. Okay, so we don't have a governor that's for the people, and we got to stop that.
Well, Mr. Grady, I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know you came down here at the very last minute, and you're up north, and I wanted to make sure that folks down here could know who you are, what you stand for, and your platform.
Thank you. Thank you. And what I want to say is I want to let them know that I'm a constitutional originalist. I believe that the words in the Constitution mean the same thing for all time. If you want to change them, there's a process within the Constitution to change it. So I believe in that, and I believe in our God-given rights that need to be defended. So I want people to know that. That's where I stand.
So, Mr. Grady, thank you for coming on. If you look into the camera, Mark's going to zoom in on you. Any final words you want to say, anything that we didn't cover, you probably want to say, and your point of contact.
So I would like you to go to TonyGradyForNevada.com and look at my website and support me and throw me all of your gold, because I need it. But the reality is that I came to Nevada because of 3 friends, and I love the people in Nevada, and I love this state. The mountains and the high desert are great. And so what I want you to know is that I want to be a person to serve the people. Thank you.
Well, Tony Grady, thank you so much for coming on the program. I know you're speaking at the GOP meeting today.
Yes.
So we're going to let you go. Jim, you have anything else?
No. I really appreciate you coming over at the last minute.
Thank you for inviting me. It's great being here.
Folks, that's Tony Grady. He is a candidate running for Nevada's Lieutenant Governor, and he's up north in Reno. Hopefully he'll come down here to Clark County a lot more so we can see him. This is Steve Sampson, Jim Jones for Veterans in Politics. Until next time.